Hi everyone, good morning. Thanks for including us in today's session. My name is Brittany and I lead strategy for Fashion for Good, looking at our global operations and expansion work. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be with you today. I may have met some of you during Rio Ethical Fashion Week back in June, and I look forward to meeting the rest of you in the future. So a bit about Fashion for Good. We were launched in 2017 with a seed grant from the C&A Foundation as a global initiative to make all fashion good. This is quite a bold ambition. So what does this mean? Well, our hypothesis is that a systematic change approach is needed to drive the industry forward. So in order to test this hypothesis, we've created a platform that focuses on both sides of the market, the consumer and the industry. Fashion for Good is organized in two key pillars: an innovation platform and a convener for change. In simplest terms, our innovation platform works to bring together pioneering innovators, also known as startups, with brands, manufacturers, and suppliers, working to drive the fashion industry forward. Our convener for change works to educate and activate consumers and support like-minded organizations. So I'll first provide some additional information on our innovation platform, which supports the industry in three key phases of transformation. Our accelerator and scaling programs work to support innovators, while our Good Fashion Fund works to make these innovations mainstream practice. So this slide details the three components within the innovation platform. So our accelerator program is similar to the other ones, where we welcome 10 to 15 startups per batch and support them with appropriate curriculum, connections, and mentors to work on topics such as business models, legal, financing, and impact measurement. One of the key differentiators of our offerings is the access and exposure to our 13 industry partners, where they work through their business ideas and identify opportunities for scaling in partnership with these brands, manufacturers, and suppliers. Our accelerator program runs twice a year, and we're currently on batch 6. Our scaling program is a bit more bespoke, as it really focuses on implementation and pilot projects between our innovators and corporate partners. Sometimes this is done on a one-to-one basis, meaning one startup and one partner, and sometimes on a one-to-many, meaning one startup with multiple partners in a pre-competitive space. The focus of the scaling program is really taking their technologies and applying it all the way through production to an end product. And the Good Fashion Fund is the final component under our innovation platform. It focuses on providing blended financing at favorable rates, both debt and equity, to small and medium-sized manufacturers in order to reduce barriers to acquiring new machines or systems. So for example, a waterless dyeing machine. So the fashion value chain is rather complex, which of course is of no surprise to those of you in the room. Given this, we've structured our work to mirror the various key steps in the production process, as well as some overarching themes. The innovators we work with also mirror these key stages. You'll find materials, dyeing and finishing, cut, make, trim, retail and use, as well as end of use, and overarching topics such as packaging, wastewater treatment, as well as traceability and transparency. The graphic above reflects over 1,800 innovators we've looked at across the fashion value chain and where they fall with respect to maturity level. So of those 1,800 innovators we've scouted, we've selected over 80 to support directly in our accelerator and scaling programs over the past 2.5 years. This shows where these innovators fall with respect to the fashion value chain. For example, one that may be familiar is Farfarm, who is part of our accelerator program for batch 5, and you can find this in the materials section. All of these innovators are also listed on the Fashion for Good website if you wish to find additional information on them. So to bring this down to a practical level, some key statistics to reflect the work that we've done over the past 2.5 years. So we've onboarded over 13 corporate partners, including value and luxury brands, e-commerce players, manufacturers, as well as producers. We've supported over 80 startups coming from all around the world, which are represented in that previous slide I just showed you. And with those 80 innovators, we've facilitated over 850 deal flow sessions with our corporate partners to explore opportunities to work together. So this leads to the outcome of more than 40 pilots testing solutions at scale, as well as catalyzing over $75 million in financing for these innovators. So this is what a typical year at Fashion for Good looks like. You'll find our accelerator program on the top row, starting with selection day, and then focus weeks, followed up with a demo day in June. The same cadence is repeated for the second half of the year. For the scaling program, it's not time-bound, so it's done on a rolling basis, with workshops around key topics and due diligence ongoing throughout the year. And the governance row at the bottom reflects the key moments in time when our 13 brand partners come together to set strategy at the beginning of the calendar year, and then again throughout the year to set a shared innovation agenda. So as mentioned earlier, the second pillar in our system's change approach is our convener for change, focused primarily on the consumer side. This is comprised of our Fashion for Good experience, our circular apparel community, and our good fashion guides. Our circular apparel community is physically based in our headquarters in Amsterdam, which is where I'm sitting today, where we have a co-working space with like-minded organizations such as the CNA Foundation, ZDHC, Sustainable Apparel Coalition, Organic Cotton Accelerator, and quite a few other innovators. There are 92 people in total that call this building home. I'll dig a bit deeper into our experience and our good fashion guides on the following slides. So the Fashion for Good experience is the world's first interactive museum dedicated to sustainable fashion innovation, also based in our headquarters here in Amsterdam. It occupies our first 3 floors. It's organized around the past, present, and future of the fashion industry. On the lower level, visitors can understand some of the context around the fashion industry and how it got to where it is today. On the ground level, we focus on where fashion is now. There is also a shop which allows us to educate consumers on good fashion within a retail context. We feature curated product collections that are swapped out every few months with a new theme. And finally, our upper level is where we showcase the future of fashion, demonstrating more than 80 exciting, groundbreaking innovations that are being accelerated and scaled through our programs. So the third component under the Convener for Change pillar is our Good Fashion Guides, which are open source toolkits available via our website, reflecting some of the key insights we've worked on over the past 2.5 years. There's additional content on cradle-to-cradle certification clothing, as well as a study exploring the feasibility of circular business models. And this, again, is all available on our website. So I'd be remiss if I didn't spotlight our brand partners who work in a pre-competitive space together in a collaborative way to drive a lot of our innovators' ideas to scale. They make Fashion for Good platform possible. And you'll notice there's a mix of brands across various market segments such as luxury and value, as well as e-commerce players. Building off of the learnings over the past 2.5 years, we've realized the importance of having the manufacturers engaged. This is what is driving our expansion work in South Asia, where we're launching a satellite program in 2020 with a big focus on surfacing additional regional innovators, as well as creating deeper relationships with key manufacturers and suppliers in the region. We're always looking at opportunities to engage with on-the-ground partners that will work with us to make all fashion good. This is what's driving our exploration phase of what Fashion for Good in Brazil could look like, given it's uniquely positioned as the largest complete supply chain in the world. This is also why sessions like today are so important. And I look forward to exploring ways in which we can work together and build off of one another's momentum to make all fashion a force for good. Thank you. I'll be dialing in shortly for a question and answer, and I look forward to talking to you all soon.